And so as you live out your faith in a hurting world, especially in serving in mission, you will serve others who are kind of grinchy. They're angry, they are negative, they are mean-spirited, they are selfish. And it's a real challenge to be kind and polite to such hard-to-love people. I often describe them as EGR, extra grace required, right? Many of you may have heard that term. It's been around a while. But it's those folks who are the hardest to love, need love the most. And so as you try to reach the Christ-like goal of loving hard-to-love people, it really helps to learn their story. To learn a little bit about how they got here. Today you meet a fairly hard-to-love guy named Zacchaeus. Somehow he managed to make an enemy of everyone in town. So was it that people didn't like Zacchaeus because he was mean-spirited? Or was he mean-spirited because people didn't like him? Probably both. Scripture gives us a little morsel of a background on Zacchaeus. One detail. The Bible makes a point to tell you that Zacchaeus was short, which he had to be substantially short for it to even need to be mentioned in Luke's Gospel. So if that's the case, then maybe like the Grinch, Zacchaeus was probably a target of a lot of ridicule and teasing, bullying since he was a child. Maybe he learned to hate and treat others badly as a result of the pain that others had inflicted on him. Most of you have probably known as Zacchaeus. Please don't name them out loud, just envision them in your mind. People who have been hurt. People who are hurting. People needing to be loved. I would guess that some of you may have been a Zacchaeus at some point in your life. Someone who has been hurt. Someone who is hurting. Someone needing to be loved. Zacchaeus desperately needed someone to love him. And Jesus was that someone. Jesus showed him respect instead of making him the target of ridicule. Jesus didn't just treat him like a human being, which is a good start. Jesus treated Zacchaeus as special, as loved. And this didn't just make Zacchaeus' day, it changed his life. This act of love and respect was enough to overcome all the pain that Zacchaeus had experienced up until now. He's a new person. He went from feeling unloved to knowing himself as God's beloved. From hurting others to helping others. If you want to follow Jesus, I hope you want to follow Jesus. That's the point of why we're here. You need to learn to see and love people like the Grinch, those who are miserable and difficult to love because they are in so much pain. Sinking in their pain, it's hard for them to think about anything other than themselves. If you know that extra grace is required, and you show hard to love people how it feels to be loved, you might change their life, like Zacchaeus. The story of the Grinch should also remind you that people can change. The Grinch is a model of someone who does change. The change didn't take place because of force or punishment because the Grinch stole all of Christmas. This was a change that was born out of relationship. The Who's in Whoville showed him a new way to see the world, to have a new set of priorities. In response to waking up with no presents and no feast, the Who's simply walked outside on Christmas morning and joined hands and sang. And maybe, he thought, Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. this relationship and this new way to see the world changed the Grinch's life? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And I feel like some of you don't need to learn to love people like the Grinch. Maybe you identify with his story. Maybe you're feeling miserable and difficult to love because you are in so much pain. Sinking in your pain, it may be hard to think about anything other than yourself. As you follow Jesus, I hope you receive the extra grace you need. I hope in this space you can learn what it feels like to be loved. Because Jesus can change your life. What will change your life is relationship. Relationship with Jesus. Relationship with folks who can take the journey with you. We are here to take that journey with you. The gospel, according to Dr. Seuss, might say it this way. Jesus went walking through Jericho town, with people all gathered and crowding around. A man, Zacchaeus, not very tall, couldn't see Jesus not one bit at all. He scurried, he hurried, he scampered up quick. He climbed a tall sycamore. Yes, that's the trick. Then Jesus looked up and called with a cheer, "Zacchaeus, come down. I must stay with you here." So down he came, scrambling, happy as can be, for Jesus had chosen to come home for tea. And it changed his life. A new person he'll be. He knew that it's in giving, not taking from the poor, very quite possibly means so very much more.